And so now what we're going to be doing is adding a third sprite. And so the third sprite is going to be the fireball. And so what we're going to do is going to go over here to the turtle, add a turtle sprite. You can see it here. We're going to name that as fireball up here in this area here, okay? And so what I need you guys to do now is inside of your folder for today, you're going to see that there is a fireball PNG, right? A fireball file. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you drag that fireball file into the costumes area. Okay, so go ahead and drag that fireball file into the costumes area. And so now you see the fireball. Okay, and so now we need to code this to where this fireball right here is going to be shooting out of its mouth every time that we click the mouse. And so what we're going to do is we're going to code this to wherever we have the mouse and we click the mouse, it will shoot a fireball. And so when it shoots the fireball, it will also animate the dragon's fire. Okay, so let's go back over here to the fireball. We're going to go to the script area now. Okay, and then in your script area, this is where we're going to be putting our fireball code. Okay, so this one is a little bit more complicated. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to code starting with our control. So let's go up here to control. We're going to hit when clicked. Now we're going to go to a forever block again, right? So whenever this start arrow is clicked, forever, and we want to do some if-thens, right? So let's do if this block right here, and we're going to go over to our motion, and so we're going to code for our mouse, and so let's see if it's inside motion. So it might be in the sensing. Let's see. Okay, it's in sensing. So sensing area, we're going to go if mouse down. What this means is if the mouse button is clicked, right? And so now we're going to go back over to our control and we're going to go for wait until. And so what we want to do is we want to code this to where when we click the mouse button, we're waiting until the mouse button is not down, and then it's going to click a fireball, right? And so we're going to wait until, and we have to go to operators, and we're looking for not, yep, not. And then we're just going to take this mouse down right here, duplicate. If not mouse down, we're going to broadcast. And so this is how you guys code for shooting mechanisms, right? So that's what we're doing right now, and doing some type of shooting mechanisms. So we're going to hit broadcast, and then let's see if the controller. We're going to hit new, and we're going to type in fire. Hit OK. Okay, broadcast fire, and then we're going to create a clone. So let's go to, this is still control. So remember, we've used this one before, create a clone. You want to make sure that it's inside of this if block and that it's inside of the forever block, right? Some common mistakes could be like this, right? It's outside the if block, right? So we want to make sure that this clone block is inside that if block, and everybody sees what I'm talking about right there. Right, this little block right here, we want it to be inside of there and inside of the forever block. And so now we're going to do create a clone of myself. There we go. And so now what we want to do is we want to code for the rest of the fireball. So this is the first part, right? And then the second part is going to be, because we're doing a clone, we have to, when I start as a clone, right? So this is actually going to code the fireball movement. And so we want to go to the motion. And so we're going to go to, this might be a little bit complicated. This is a longer block. So go to, and then we'll go to the X position. And so we're going to be doing, we need 2 blocks there for this part right here. Let's look for sensing. I'm looking for a two block position that I can put inside of this X position right here. Okay, and so I'm looking inside of. Let's look at. I'm looking for an of. So let's try this one right here. Okay, and so we're going to go to. This is going to be X position of the dragon. Okay, because we want it to be the X position of the dragon, and now we're going to copy that block and we're going to put it here on the Y position, and we're going to do Y position of the dragon. Okay, and so what this is doing is it's telling that fireball that when it starts, right, when we click the mouse button, the fireball is going to come out of the X and Y position of the dragon. Okay, and so now how we're going to code for the mouse is we're going to point towards the mouse pointer, so that way we can point towards the mouse. And then we're going to hit show. So we're going to look for a show button. And now we're looking for a way to stop that fireball from when it reaches the edge, that it's just going to disappear, right? And so we're going to go to another control button. And I'm looking for a repeat button here. So I'm going to go repeat until. And then sensing, I'm going to go to touching. So I'm going to go touching, and then I should be able to use this block right here, touching edge, right? And that's what it's saying. It's saying that it's going to shoot until it hits the edge, and then it's going to move. So I need to move right here. So I'm going to change this to 5 steps. And the last thing we need to do is delete the clone, right? So it's going to shoot, it's going to go to the edge, and then it's going to delete the clone. Okay. So let's see what happens. One more thing before we start, then we have to hit also. So another when the green is clicked. And the reason why this is showing right now is because it hasn't been hidden yet, right? So we want to hide this. I'm going to go up to looks. We're going to go up to hide. And so what this is doing is, hey, when the green button's clicked, hide, right? So green button's clicked, it hides it. And then when I click the mouse, it shoots the fireball, right? And so we got to hit show on here. And then we can have our right? So it should shoot some fireballs now. There we go. Okay. And so now what we want to do is we also want to make sure that it is moving to the front of the mouth, right? So let's see if we can do. Let's go over here back to the dragon. And so now what we have to do is make it look like it's coming out of the front of the mouth by changing the costumes again. So when I receive, and then we're going to remember we did fire. Now I'm going to switch the costumes. I'm going to copy, I'm going to duplicate this block right here. When I receive fire, I'm going to go from dragon. Let's see what we got here. What do the costumes look like? So we want to go from dragon B to A. So let's do that. So dragon B to A. And so now when we shoot fire, looks like it's shooting fire, right? So now we can move it up and down, right? Hit the space bar. He looks like he's flying. It's going to be a lot better when he starts flying. And let's do this one more time. So the play button, right? So now he's flying and he's shooting fire, right? Looks a little bit better, right? So let's hit the big button right here. So now we can go up and down. Every time he shoots, he's shooting a fireball. And so what we can do is we can play around with this. So we have it 0, 0 right now. And so we can change it to coming out that front of that mouth, right? So let's see if we can. Let's hit pause. So now we can play around, and what you guys can do is play around with it. So you can go back over here to the dragon. You can change around the speed right here on when the space key is pressed. And then on the fireball, we can change. So we have X position of the dragon. And so what we can do, I tell you what, I think we're going to keep that good for now. And so this is what it's going to look like for today. Okay, so we're going to hit our play button. We're going to go up here, right? We're going to hit our space. Let's go back over here real quick. Let's get all this stuff started before we go. It's a little choppy. So we're going to hit show here, okay? And then we're going to hit our animation, right? So it should hit when we hit play, should start animating, right? Now we're going to hit play. And when we come back over here, so now we're trying to get, for some reason it's going back behind there. So let's hit show one more time. Now this should be good. Okay, so now every time that we go forward, we shouldn't go behind another background, right? And whatever direction our mouse is pointing, wherever we click that mouse is where the fireball is going to go. And so this whole fireball in the direction of the mouse depends on you being pointed towards the direction, right? So if we hit the fireball here, it's going to come out as behind, right? So we have to turn our dragon around and then shoot that direction, okay? And so this is what it's going to look like by the end of today. You'll have the fireball that will come out, and it should have an animation when you click that mouse, right? You should be able to see the fireball animation, right? And so what we're going to do now is we're going to hit pause. We're going to go back over here. We're going to hit our save button. This will be our last save for today. And on our next episode, we'll learn how to add the enemy coming in from the right side, and then we'll also learn how to code the fireball to destroy the enemy. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know there was a couple little hiccups in there, but that is life. Have a great day, guys.